Sarah from Sandra. Who does the last one?
It's you. I can do this one. Okay.
Good morning. Welcome here in the sanctuary and welcome online to the Unitarian Universalist Church of St. Petersburg's Sunday service. We're on land that was stolen from the Tocobaga and Seminole Native Americans. This coming week, Jewish people will celebrate Shavuot, and the week after, Christians observe Pentecost. Last Friday was the 78th anniversary of the Nakba. Unitarian Universalist congregations across the United States were asked to recognize Nakba Day today. The Nakba, which means catastrophe in Arabic, refers to the mass displacement and dispossession of Palestinians during the 1948 Arab-Israeli War. My name is Ben, and my pronouns are he and they, and I'm excited to bring you today's worship service. It's called Pluralism, From Enmity to Curiosity. And those words that follow pluralism are actually lyrics from a song that I wrote called What God Do You Pray To? And I will do my best to sing that song for you later. But most of our music will come from Liam Dunn, as it has just now, from Todd Wellman, from Barbara, and the UU St. Pete Vocal Choir. The choir is going to perform today for their final time until fall. So thank you to all who have been members of the choir. Please actually join me in thanking the choir members and all their hard work bringing us music. Today's worship associate, first time as a worship associate, is Courtney Prokopis. Good morning.
Thank you so much, everybody, and thanks, Ben. My name is Courtney, and my pronouns are she and they. If you want a church where curiosity is welcomed, and where some days you may leave with more questions than answers, I have good news. You may have found your church home. The light-hearted energy of our children is welcome here, and we encourage our families to bring their children and grandchildren on a regular basis. In the back, there is a basket with fidget toys for children and adults.
I also have one up here, but it's for me. There are a couple of changes in today's order of service, and here's the first one. We're going to dismiss our children now to the class at the request of our religious education department. So please join me in singing our children out to their classes.
Go now in peace, go now in peace. May the spirit of love surround you everywhere, everywhere you may go.
We have 3 announcements today. Our annual meeting will take place after worship service. I saw Michael, in the back. That's Michael, who is waving. He is our board clerk, so you can see him at the check-in table in Gilmore Hall right after the service to get your blue voting card if you've been a member here for more than 60 days. Then you can grab your coffee, come back to the sanctuary so we can establish our quorum and cast our votes.
We'll be holding a new member class in 5 weeks. That'll be on Saturday, June 20th. It's a chance to learn more about Unitarian Universalism and how life here at UUSP takes shape. If you've been attending and want to understand more, you're welcome to join us. Sign up at the welcome table during coffee hour.
Your order of service also lists the Friday meditation group, but that group is stopping now for lack of interest, but we are very grateful for Beth Wall's leadership. Where'd Beth go? Please join me in thanking Beth for your leadership of the meditation group. Hopefully the interest will resurge when some snowbirds come back.
Also, please read the rest of your announcements in the order of service, in our monthly newsletter, and on the TV in Gilmore during coffee hour.
Now, as Unitarian Universalists, we're people of diverse beliefs, but we do share a common faith that every being is worthy of love, that what we do in this world matters, and that we are connected. We're connected to one another, we are connected to the earth. So whoever you are and wherever you are in your journey, you are welcome here.
Allow me to give a special welcome to any newcomers. If you're new to UU St. Pete, or even relatively new, would you like to give a little wave? If you'd like, no pressure, you're welcome to introduce yourself. Rev Ben will go ahead and bring the microphone to you so that those on YouTube can hear what you are saying.
There's one gentleman who hasn't been here for 60 years, so I'm hoping he'll say something, but I'm waiting for the hand.
And again, you're under no obligation.
Hi everyone, my name is Janine Domara. I'm a UU coming from Tampa.
You'll have to guess who it is.
Thank you so much for sharing. And if you haven't already, go ahead and put your cell phones into worship mode or mute. I'm going to do the same.
Now's the time for us to turn and greet our neighbors. Say hello to someone you aren't close friends with today. Maybe share what brings you joy. And please remember to ask for consent if you're going to shake hands or hug somebody. Our choir is leading our hymns today, so please please rise as you're willing and able for our first hymn. It's number 2 in the gray hymnal, Down the Ages We Have Trod.
And for hymn number 2, we're singing verses 1, 3, and 7. 1, 3, and 7.
127. Please remain standing for our chalice lighting. The flaming chalice is a reminder that we choose to focus here today for this time together, and that we believe such time is sacred. When my mother, Johanna Zeman, and my wife, Lucinda Zeman, light our chalice, I invite you to say our covenant out loud. The words are found in the programs and online. Love is the spirit of this church, and service its law. This is our great covenant, to dwell together in peace, to seek the truth in love, and to help one another. You may be seated.
We come to the time in our worship for joys, sorrows, and concerns. For those of you on YouTube Live that are not in this room, your presence is still felt. Please type your joys and sorrows into the text chat. If you have a joy, sorrow, or concern to submit during the week, you may always write to Rev Ben.
Thank you, Dom, for agreeing to place a stone in the water for each one that was submitted this week. The little stones go into the water. And there's still time if you're writing your card. I think, Courtney, you have 2 cards, and you have 3, and I have 0. Once we read each card, Courtney and I will say the person's name out loud, and then we'll invite you all to repeat the person's name.
Each week we appreciate someone or someones who have worked hard to accomplish our mission. This week we have a stone of joy for our outgoing board president. She has worked hard as our president for these past 2 years. Please join me in thanking Trish Birch.
Thank you, Trish. Can I get one of those? Trish Birch.
Trish Birch.
A stone of joy and gratitude for the president of our Unitarian Universalist Association, the Reverend Dr. Sophia Betancourt. At this moment, she is in Selma, along with many other faith leaders demanding the restoration of the Voting Rights Act. And another stone for our UUA staff and leaders, especially the staff from the UUA Southern Region Office. Sophia Betancourt.
Sophia Betancourt. A stone of concern for Pat Fling as she fights her cancer with 2 more rounds of chemotherapy. Pat Fling.
Pat Fling. A stone of sorrow from Krisha Logan. Juniper Blessing was a 19-year-old transgender student at the University of Washington. studying atmospheric and climate science. She was stabbed and murdered in the laundry room of her student housing complex in Seattle this past week. Friends and family described her as kind, creative, and passionate about meteorology, music, Pokemon, and fashion. Juniper Blessing.
Juniper Blessing. A stone of concern from Suzanne Abrams. My sister Diane is being treated for an advanced cancer. Diane.
Diane.
And my friend Susan, who has had a massive heart attack on Monday. Susan.
Susan. Stone of sorrow from our vice president of our board, Sandra Moss, who's greeting right now. Sandra says, my cousin Jeff, who died from a brain tumor, and my good friend Cheryl from my UU church in Mississippi, who passed from complications following open heart surgery. Jeff and Cheryl.
Jeff and Cheryl. I have a stone of joy from Liz Rylan. Cal and Virginia Fox did an amazing job with their performance on Saturday. They're performing again this afternoon at 2 p.m. at the Sunshine Senior Theater in St. Pete, Radio Days. Cal and Virginia Fox.
Cal and Virginia Fox. That's all I have.
I have one more. I have a stone of sorrow from Christine. It is a tremendous sorrow to not participate in volunteer activities and feel that I have not had due process at the UU. Christine.
Christine. Let's place one more stone, and this will be for those joys and sorrows that remain in our hearts, and maybe they are too tender to be spoken out loud. But may all of us find a comforting and compassionate presence in the warmth of fellowship and community.
We now invite you to say the first of the UU St. Pete mission aloud. It is printed in your order of service. Our mission is to be an inclusive, evolving religious community that inspires spiritual and intellectual growth to make our world a better place.
The mystery is we're connected even when we feel apart. So let's rejoice in our beloved community that makes of the many one, and let's take about a minute of silence together. Thank you so much. Sophie, I hope they could hear that violin online. That was absolutely beautiful, choir. And Barbara. Our reading today came to us from the group Unitarian Universalists for Justice in the Middle East. So again, the Nakba means catastrophe in Arabic, and it refers to the mass displacement of and dispossession of Palestinians during the 1948 Arab-Israeli War.
Before the Nakba, Palestine was a multi-ethnic and multicultural society. However, the conflict between Arabs and Jews intensified in the 1930s with an increase of Jewish immigration driven by persecution in Europe, and with the Zionist movement aiming to establish a Jewish state in Palestine.
Between 700,000 and 800,000 Palestinians were forcibly removed or fled from their cities and villages during the Nakba. Hundreds of towns and villages were destroyed. Displaced Palestinians were never allowed to return.
The General Assembly of the United Nations first recognized Nakba Day in 2023. In 2024, the UUA General Assembly affirmed our solidarity with Palestinians in an action of immediate witness. Forced removal is a war crime, a denial of human rights.
Many Palestinians, human rights organizations, Middle Eastern scholars, Jewish groups, and some UN bodies explicitly describe the Nakba as ongoing rather than as a closed event in the late 1940s.
Fear is deepening amongst already vulnerable communities. Unitarian Universalists affirm the values of pluralism, interdependence, generosity, equity, transformation, and justice. We are bound by love to bring these values into the world and to make them a reality.
you, choir. Barbara, can I borrow your stand? Thank you, choir. I was feeling a little far from you up there, so I'm going to go down here. Thank you, Barbara, for letting me use your stand. You might notice the music team has chosen pieces that they chose them carefully, that they relate to this theme that we're having today of pluralism. They are a hard-working team, the music team, and if anyone wants to join them, I think there's room. Some eyes see water, others conjure wine. But wait, we know there is more. Mystery leads on. So, 2 wolves visited me last night. One was called love, and one was called fear. Which one do you think is going to visit me tonight? What? The one I feed. Thank you, Chris McDonald. Some of you might have heard this saying before. Lucinda and I have a cat named Elvis, and he's 1 year old, and he's very curious. When he's curious about something and he's afraid, he will run from the sound or from the new person or from the noise. But when he feels safe, he will approach and sniff and love. Pluralism is one of our most cherished values. We have 7 values, and I like all of them, but we share many of these values with other denominations: love, equity, justice. Pluralism is one of the ones that sets us apart a bit. A lot of other denominations, you believe thus and so, and that's why you come to this church, that's why you come to this house of worship. We're one of the few, I think, in addition to Baha'i faith, that specifically says what you believe is precious, is wonderful, is worthy, and you don't have to believe a certain thing to be here. So when someone comes through that door with a belief system that's different than mine, that believes in a different god or goddess, that believes in no God at all, my response is, tell me more, rather than, you're wrong. You should believe what I believe. So we have Jewish Unitarian Universalists, or UUs, here today, and Muslim UUs, and Sikh UUs. We have Christian UUs, we have pagan UUs, we have atheists, agnostic UUs, and we have a lot of folks who are still figuring it out, or maybe that's all of us. If we don't approach a person with curiosity, who has a different belief than ours, if we stumble, we accidentally say something that does harm, we apologize. We make amends when we can, using this community covenant that I've put up there in this beautiful frame that some mystery person framed. I still don't know who it is. And no, it wasn't Joe Edmond. You can still sign it on the back, is the best part of this frame. This community covenant guides us when we cause harm, which we do. Since I personally neither seek nor do I offer perfection, I will cause harm. I have already. And I will use the covenant and our right relations process to address that harm if I do harm to somebody based on the fact that they have a different religious belief than me. Now, we tend to not, as UUs, feel threatened by other religious beliefs, because we knew all along that our democracy valued pluralism, and if we had this idea that our belief was the only one, we'd probably be in a different denomination than our own. And we don't just respond with curiosity, we respond like Elvis does when he's feeling safe, with fascination and even with love. And this embodies not just our pluralism value, but other values as well, interdependence. And at our best, we embody the Ubuntu theology that Archbishop Desmond Tutu speaks about. Literally, I am because you are. So if we feed the wolf of love, we strengthen our connections and our interdependence. And if we feed the wolf of fear, then that curiosity is replaced by prejudice and taken to an extreme that can lead to war, that can lead to genocide, like the Nakba that we've talking about today. And pluralism doesn't just apply to religious beliefs. It applies to differences of opinion. Now, when someone has a different opinion than us, UUs are a little harder on that. Sometimes it's harder to approach them with curiosity, but we can, and we do. We're about to have our annual meeting. It's quite likely that someone you love in that annual meeting will have a different opinion than you. When that happens, let's try to react with curiosity. So let's say our hardworking board president, Trish, has made a proposal to double my salary. And let's say that the board, for some reason, said yes to that, and that is the budget that we will be voting on at the annual meeting. It's not, by the way. It's not. Now, I think that's a terrible idea. Not that I don't want a bigger salary, but that means we would have to cut everyone else's salary. That means we would have to cut the buildings and grounds budget, the music budget, the worship budget, basically everything else in order to double my salary. So I'm going to go into that annual meeting not agreeing with what Trish proposed, with what the board said yes to. But I also love them. I respect them. Our board, the 7 of them, are our elected leaders, and we'll be electing a new board at that same annual meeting. They've been working hard. I trust them. I love them. So even if they have this idea that's really double the salary, that I don't agree with, that I don't understand, it is my duty to try to. Trish is smart. She must have had some reason for suggesting this. What is it? Let me find out. Why did the board say yes to this? Let me find out. Curiosity. Feed the wolf of love. Starve the wolf of fear. My relationship with Trish, my relationship with the board, is more important than my being right. Let me say that again. My relationship with all of you is more important than me being right. So when someone comes through that door, again, who has a different opinion, ideally we approach them with curiosity. If we're at our best, but if we don't, we apologize. We make amends when we can, according to our community covenant, according to our conflict resolution policy. We try our best, but sometimes we unintentionally, harm one another and make mistakes. But again, I do not seek to offer, nor do I require perfection. Feed the love wolf, not the fear wolf. And when we disagree about issues here in the church, let's also remember what we do agree on. There are many injustices in the world right now, and there is reason for hope. All of these injustices are more important than anything really that might come up at the annual meeting. More important than any conflict we have in this building. And as we resolve disputes here, let's keep that perspective about what's going on in the world and our responsibility to act in the face of injustice as Unitarian Universalists. So right now, as we sit here in air conditioning, there are human beings living across the street on Mirror Lake. They cannot afford food. They cannot afford rent. These human beings are blamed for their situation, but it is not through a fault of their own. We understand as a denomination that the system where wealth is concentrated in the hands of a few is responsible. We understand and say in our denomination that housing
is a right, not a privilege, and that no one should go hungry in a country like the United States. We are taught, however, to blame these human beings, to fear these human beings, and to shun them. But there's reason for hope. This church and other community organizations spend many hours every week buying and preparing food. Many of you in this room prepare the food every week. You prepare it with love. You prepare it with hard work. The meals are then shared the way all resources should be shared. We feed the love wolf, not the fear wolf. There are many injustices in the world, and there's reason for hope. As we speak, the Voting Rights Act has been gutted. Black voters are being systemically disenfranchised. Everything the civil rights movement worked for is being dismantled, with Jim Crow segregation threatening to return. White Americans are taught to fear and shun black human beings and black history, but there's reason for hope. Right now, many from our denomination have traveled to Selma demanding the Voting Rights Act be restored. And yesterday, many marched over the Edmund Pettus Bridge, following the steps of the Reverend Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. and Representative John Lewis and so many others years ago. Here in Florida, many from our community protested at Governor DeSantis' office, refusing to leave till some of them were arrested. We feed the love wolf, not the fear wolf. Now, some folks say I'm too political in my ministry, but I support voting rights not for political reasons, but for moral ones, for theological ones. And frankly, I think you should too. Reverend Anna Galladay says progressive faith communities are sometimes tempted by a false version of impartiality. The idea that staying above partisan politics preserves our moral authority. But there's nothing natural, she says, about a map drawn to silence black voters. There's nothing apolitical about a system designed to ensure that power never changes hands. Reverend Anna says, neutrality in the face of structural harm is its own kind of harm. There are many injustices in the world right now, and there's reason for hope. Krisha asked us to mourn the loss of Juniper Blessing. And I agree with her over Juniper Blessing's murder. Just the latest example of anti-trans violence in this country. This violence supported by anti-trans legislation and bigotry. Cisgender Americans are taught to fear and loathe trans human beings. Yet, in Wisconsin, who's seen the Wisconsin high school marching band? Yeah. So there's a marching band that was going to, in their spring concert, play an instrumental piece honoring Marsha P. Johnson, a black trans hero of the Stonewall Uprising. School board heard about it. They voted to ban the song from the spring concert. So just this past week, hundreds of high school students at the high school, it's called Watertown High School in Wisconsin, they all walked out of their classes, hundreds of them, not just the band members, in protest of the censorship. I cried with hope and joy when I heard them chanting, "Let them play, let them play, let them play." We feed the love wolf, not the fear wolf. So, to review, pluralism asks us to be curious about theological differences. Interdependence asks us to be curious about differences of opinion. Justice and equity asks us to speak out against injustice, against voter suppression, against transphobia, against mass murder. Two wolves are going to visit you tonight. One is called love. One is called fear. Which one will you feed? I leave you with the words of Reverend Michelle Collins. Spirit of life and wonder, we come carrying questions we barely know how to ask. In a world that rewards quick answers and sharp certainty, something in us is still hungry for questions that leave us hanging and unknowing. Stir in us a living curiosity. When we meet what is unfamiliar, turn our fear into wondering. She says, when we feel the pull to shut down, grant us one more honest question. May we notice anew what we have walked past 100 times. May we listen for stories we've never heard before. May we meet this day not as a problem to solve, but as a mystery to explore. And may this help us better know the mystery that is us. Amen. Ashe. Blessed be.
We eat the fruit from trees planted long before we were born. May we plant seeds that bear fruit long after we're gone. In the sanctuary, the offering will now be given and received.
Liam has offered to accompany me on this, and we didn't have time to arrange it, but thank you. We will. This is called What God Do You Pray To? I have sung it once here, so if you know the chorus, join in. Oh, they tell me you are my enemy, and they tell you that I'm an infidel. But when I read your holy Quran, it makes me want to learn more. What God do you pray to? Is it Allah or is it Jesus? Is it Lord Krishna or the Mother Goddess? Do you pray to a God at all? Do you pray to a God at all? Gotta turn the page. Oh, they tell me you control Hollywood, but then I read your Hebrew Bible, and you invite me to Seder dinner. It makes me want to learn more. What God do you pray to? Is it Allah or is it Jesus? Is it Lord Krishna or the Mother Goddess? Do you pray to a God at all? Do you pray to a God at all? Oh, I will not be your enemy, and I will not fight in a holy war. From enmity to curiosity, I refuse to fight you anymore. I refuse to fight in holy war. Try the chorus. What God do you pray to? Is it Allah or is it Jesus? Is it Lord Krishna or the Mother Goddess? Do you pray to a God at all? Do you pray to a God at all? What God do you pray to?
Your gifts, which are given in love, are received with great joy. Thank you. Now, as you are able, please rise for our closing hymn, Building Bridges. It's number 1023, and it's in the teal hymnal. Again, that's 1023.
Hello, hello. There we go. Excellent. We're going to be doing this as a round. We're going to introduce the music to you first, and then this side is going to be our A side for the round, and then this side over here will be the B side. This side of the choir will be singing along with this side, right? Choir with this side. But first, let's hear what this sounds like, and we're all going to sing it together for you. Liam's going to come in the end of the song for us, and then we'll sing it once through, we'll stop, and then we'll cue you in for the next part. Perfect. It sounds great. So again, this side will start first, and then I'll cue you all in on this side.
Building bridges between our divisions. Building bridges between our divisions. I reach out to you. Will you reach out to me? With all of our voices, all of our visions. Friends, we could make such sweet harmony. Building bridges between our divisions. I reach out to you. Will you reach out to me? With all of our voices, all of our visions. Friends, we could make such harmony. Building bridges between our divisions. I reach out to you. Will you reach out to me? With all of our voices, all of our visions. Friends, we could make such sweet harmony. You did great. Well done. You may be seated. I have not asked anyone to extinguish the chalice, but I would love for someone to do that. Oh, thank you, Laura. Ask you. I appreciate that. While Laura's extinguishing the chalice, we invite you to follow along with the hand gestures we have. So light of truth is this, warmth of love is this, fire of courage is this. And the words to our traditional chalice extinguishing are in your order of service. We extinguish this flame, but not the light of truth, the warmth of love, or the fire of courage. These we carry in our hearts and out into the world. I'm very excited for our organ postlude that will be performed by Liam, so this is me stalling until he gets there. He's going to play it through once, and then we'll say our final closing words, and he'll play it again as we go into the coffee hour. Our worship is over, but our service begins. Please join us for coffee hour right there in Gilmore Hall. If you've been here, a member here, more than 60 days, get your blue voting card at the check-in table for the annual meeting. We hope this time together will help you through your week. We'll help you remember you are not alone. Blessings.